Charles Bronson, born Charles Dennis Bukowski on November 3, 1921 in Ahrenfeld, Pennsylvania, came from a large Lithuanian immigrant family of 15 children. Poverty defined his early years, and his father's death when Bronson was just 10 forced him to work in coal mines to help support his family. The harsh conditions of manual labour in Pennsylvania's mines shaped the rugged, stoic persona that would later define his film career. This early exposure to struggle instilled in him resilience, independence, and a quiet intensity, qualities that later became hallmarks of his tough guy roles in Hollywood and international cinema. Military service and post-war life. During World War II, Bronson served with distinction in the United States Army Air Forces as a tail gunner in the Pacific Theater. Flying over 25 missions, he was wounded in combat and received a Purple Heart. Following the war, Bronson utilized the GI Bill to study art before turning to acting. The transition from soldier to artist and actor reflected his determination to reshape his life. Bronson's military service not only hardened him physically, but also contributed to the depth of emotion and authenticity he brought to his characters, blending vulnerability with a hardened exterior in his later roles. Entering Hollywood, Bronson began his film career in the 1950s with small, often uncredited roles. Facing the prejudices of Cold War America, he adopted the more Americanized surname Bronson to improve his chances in Hollywood. His breakthrough arrived with roles in classic films such as The Magnificent Seven, 1960, where he played Bernardo O'Reilly, and The Great Escape, 1963, portraying Polish tunneler Danny Walensky. These roles demonstrated his ability to combine stoicism with human vulnerability, setting him apart from other actors. Bronson quickly became known for his intense presence, minimalistic acting style, and capacity to convey emotion with a glance, a nod, or a clenched jaw. Rise to action stardom. Bronson's role in The Dirty Dozen, 1967, further cemented his screen presence, but it was his collaboration with director Michael Winner that defined his legacy. Death Wish, 1974, marked a turning point, casting him as Paul Kersey, a peaceful architect turned vigilante after his family suffered a brutal attack. The film resonated with 1970s audiences, tapping into fears about urban crime and justice. Its commercial success spawned 4 sequels, solidifying Bronson as the definitive vigilante hero. Audiences admired his brooding intensity, moral code, and minimalist performance, qualities that became synonymous with his tough guy image and contributed to his lasting influence on action cinema. European stardom. Bronson achieved significant success in Europe, particularly in France and Italy. His first major leading role came with Rider on the Rain, 1970, a French thriller that demonstrated his appeal abroad. European audiences celebrated his taciturn heroes and restrained emotional style. In France, he earned the affectionate nickname Lascara Monster, or the Sacred Monster, reflecting his larger-than-life cinematic presence. Unlike in Hollywood, where he was often typecast, Bronson's European success allowed him to explore a wider range of roles and cement his reputation as a globally recognized star. This international acclaim highlighted his ability to resonate beyond American cultural expectations. Signature film roles. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Bronson starred in gritty, action-packed films such as Hard Times, 1975, Breakheart Pass, 1975, The Mechanic, 1972, and 10 to Midnight, 1983. These films reinforced his reputation as the stoic anti-hero. What set him apart was his ability to command attention through physical presence and minimal dialogue. His performances relied on subtle expressions and controlled gestures, conveying authority, emotion, and moral certainty without excess. While many actors of the era relied on flashy theatrics, Bronson's understated approach made his characters feel grounded, realistic, and compelling, earning him a devoted following in both the United States and Europe. Marriage and personal life. Bronson's first marriage was to Harriet Tendler, whom he met in 1947 while both were attending acting school in Philadelphia. She was 18 and Bronson, then Charles Bakinski, was 26 and recently returned from the war. Their backgrounds differed. Harriet came from a prosperous Jewish family, while Bronson grew up Catholic and working class. Despite initial skepticism from Harriet's father, the couple married in 1949 after 2 years of courtship. Harriet became the family's breadwinner while Bronson pursued acting. Their partnership was defined by mutual sacrifice, love, and resilience, enabling Bronson to build a career that eventually led him from small roles to international stardom. Professional rivalries. One of the few people Bronson reportedly disliked was fellow actor James Coburn. Though both actors appeared in The Magnificent Seven, Bronson quietly resented Coburn's polished, philosophical style and critical acclaim. Coburn was praised as sophisticated and cool, while Bronson was often labelled brutish or unsophisticated. This perceived contrast fueled Bronson's simmering resentment, which extended to industry decisions and social interactions. Stories suggest that a joke at a Hollywood party highlighting Bronson's minimalistic style cemented this dislike. While Coburn remained relaxed about the rivalry, Bronson never forgot perceived slights, illustrating his loyalty to personal authenticity and his intolerance for what he considered superficiality in Hollywood. Later career and television work in later years, Bronson shifted toward television movies and smaller film roles, often produced by the Cannon Group. Despite fewer high-profile projects, his magnetic screen presence endured. His final film role came in Family of Cops 3, Under Suspicion, 1999, reprising the character of Police Commissioner Paul Fine. Bronson remained admired for his intensity, stoicism, and professionalism, even in supporting or televised roles. While his later work lacked the commercial impact of Death Wish and his European hits, it demonstrated his consistent commitment to his craft, his ability to command the screen, and his status as a legendary figure in action and crime genres of cinema. Health decline and passing. Charles Bronson passed away on August 30th, 2003 at the age of 81 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. While initial reports mentioned pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease, the official cause of death was respiratory failure due to metastatic lung cancer. Secondary conditions included chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and congestive cardiomyopathy. Bronson's history as a smoker contributed to his vulnerability to lung disease. These conditions collectively compromised his respiratory and cardiac function, reflecting the harsh realities of aging with chronic illness, even for a man who had spent decades portraying unyielding strength and endurance on screen. Legacy and burial. Bronson was laid to rest in Brownsville Cemetery in West Windsor, Vermont, a serene rural location reflecting his desire for privacy and peace. He had long owned property in Vermont and valued the simplicity of life away from Hollywood's glare. His burial there symbolizes his connection to personal tranquility, family, and a grounded lifestyle. Bronson left behind a career that spanned 5 decades, countless iconic roles, and an enduring influence on action cinema. Remembered as the quintessential tough guy with unexpected depth and vulnerability, his legacy continues to inspire both audiences and actors, reflecting the life of a man who truly lived according to his own rules. Conclusion. Charles Bronson's journey from a coal miner in Pennsylvania to one of the world's most iconic action stars is a story of resilience, determination, and authenticity. His intense screen presence, minimalistic acting style, and unwavering personal principles set him apart in Hollywood and abroad. Despite personal and professional rivalries, including his well-documented disdain for James Coburn, Bronson remained committed to his craft and family. His death marked the end of an era, but his films and influence endure. Bronson's life reminds us that true greatness often comes from perseverance, personal integrity, and the courage to define oneself on one's own terms.